It's me, mayohosko, coming to you at 60 frames per second in 4K resolution. No sugar, no filler, just real whole egg, and welcome to my channel. Well, hello and welcome back to another episode of Miracle Whip. So let me get the music on. Let me adjust this and let me get the banner on. There we go. that's funny. So yeah, the video I uploaded today was a video I literally made in just 1 hour, because if anyone watched episode 8 of Real Whole Egg, you realise I built the London skyline architecture set. And the London architecture skyline was the most boring set I have ever built on camera. It was really boring. And I did not like it. So what I did is I was like, you know what, how can I turn this heap of junk into a funny, creative video? And so I thought, you know what, yeah, why not do an entire comedy spoof about this set? And that's what I did. I did a comedy spoof about that set. And so I wanted to be as over the top melodramatic as possible to really sell the idea that it's a boring set. I went around on different live streams after the conclusion of Real Whole Egg episode 8, talking about how architecture is not a theme for me, and I referenced the lack of colour, because I'm a mock builder, and as a mock builder, I need colour in my life. Colour my world, paint me with your love, and all that jazz. So I was really disappointed. I knew what I was getting myself into. I thought somehow, some way, I wasn't going to like the architecture theme. And when I was building the London skyline, I was like, yes, everything I thought about architecture is true. A lot of my frustration came down to the fact that to build the base of the skyline was really boring. But you know what's not really boring? This Guardians of the Galaxy ship, this Lego Movie 2 Plantimal, or this Lego Star Wars X-Wing. These are all poly bags that I traded for at Brickworld Chicago, and in my opinion they are all more creative than the London architecture skyline because they have colour in them. When I think of the when I think of the Lego architecture theme, I always think about those Manhattan skyline models behind the set of the late night show with Jimmy Fallon, or whatever it's called. I always think of those things, particularly with some of the older architecture sets, like the Empire State Building, the Seattle Space Needle, and the Sears Tower, among many other things. many other buildings that Lego has done for the architecture theme, and it's really cold right now, so I'm wearing my brand because I'm very, very cold right now. So who do we have in the chat? We have Blueberry, YOLO, and Michael Fujiwara. Hello. And if we can get these poly bags done, we will try do some ring toss action, because I need to actually put it back together, because I destroyed the set when I was making that comedy spoof. And so, yeah, let's start building this, shall we? I think we're going to build the Plantamol first, because I need some colour in my life. Lots of colour in this set. Ooh, a head just rolled away. Hello, Zissou. Yeah, not more Chris Pratt. Someone should tell Miss Ingrid Briggs that I'm building a set that has Chris Pratt in it, because Chris Pratt is my favourite actor.
Paradisa, sun is shining all day.
So if anyone is in the live stream gang, you're free to come onto the panel if you would like to spend the next 45 minutes with me. Okay, so first we've got to build Rex. And this is now, I think, the third Rex in my collection. Before we cut the cord on cable TV, Foxtel gave us unlimited access to all of their channels before they discontinued their service that we were using. It had to do with the signal of transmission, because they're trying to go into they're trying to use a different signal for their digital TV. I'm not sure what the exact way of updating the way they transmit their television service is, but anyway, we cut the cord because our system would no longer be compatible. Our system would become obsolete, and so we cut the cord. I now pay for a sports streaming service so I can still watch all of my sports shows, because I can't live without my sports shows. So we were, of course, going to keep on paying for it. And before we cut the cord, I took the opportunity to watch some movies on the movie channels that I'd never seen before. And one of them was The Shining. I finally watched The Shining, and after watching The Shining, having watched other TV shows that made references to The Shining, and they over-accentuate how wild and crazy Jack is when he tries to kill his family, I was quite let down by the lack of trying to kill his family in the movie. I thought Jack was gonna go all Texas Chainsaw Massacre on his family. which is when The Simpsons did their Treehouse of Horror episode parodying The Shining. They made Homer go full Texas Chainsaw Massacre on his family. And now I know that was just an over-dramatization. And I think all the media that have made references to the Shining in the past, particularly shows that relying on heavy pop culture references, built up my expectations too much for The Shining. And so now I can say that The Shining is overrated. And I have no idea where people get the idea that there's a magical time-traveling post box tied to The Shining, and if you smoke a bunch of drugs, you can turn, or your existence can turn from a 3D human being into a formation from the sixth dimension. I have no idea where they got that from. Anyway, my expectations were built up for The Shining, and it ultimately failed. And yeah, so that was that. And I also took the opportunity to watch the Lego Movie and the Lego Movie 2 again, because I hadn't seen them in a long time. And still, without doubt, my favourite scene from the Lego Movie 2 is where Emmett brings Wildstyle some coffee, and it's just so funny what Wildstyle says. Coffee, a bitter liquid in our lives that provides the only something in these dark times. I forget what the something is, but that's just it cracks me up every time. It cracks me up every time. It really does. And so yeah. And so building this Plantimal is way more creative than the London skyline. Because look at this, you got this dark blue round brick with the flower petals. Then you've got the nice brightly coloured orange three-leaf pieces on top. Then you got the speckled trans purple 2x2 round edition. Then you got the lavender crab on top. How creative is that? You've got a lavender crab on top, and that's not even meant to be a crab. That's just meant to be tentacles for this Plantimal. I think that's really creative. Much more creative than the London skyline architecture, for sure. So we do have a pair of eyes, and I have way too many of these eyes. I have way too many of these eyes. And I really don't know what I'm going to do with these eyes. I've always joked in the past that I should build a whole bunch of creatures that look like they've come out of the Springfield Lake. Because if anyone's ever seen the Simpsons movie, the scene where Homer dumps his pig feces into the lake and contaminates it, all of the fish and these squirrels come out of it, and they all have multiple eyes. I've always joked I should build animals that look like that. But we don't have a nuclear power plant in Mayo City, so that wouldn't be feasible, unfortunately. So I've got to find other creative ways to use those eye pieces. Maybe when I rebuild the St. Forum into a corner so an inverted corner, then maybe that'd be an opportunity for me to make the wall of moving eyes that follows you wherever you walk. That I think that would be funny to do. Or if I ever build an art gallery in the future, which I could theoretically put next to the museum that I want to build, and the museum that I'd want to build would be the Museum of Lego YouTube history. That would be the museum I'd want to build. So here's the finished product of this poly bag. We've got Lex and his gun right here. I like the use of these Technic pinhole receptacles as, or connectors, whatever the proper term is, as the barrels of this gun. I think that's nice, and you get the splash of lime green right there to match the color scheme of Rex Dangerous. And this Lantamol is really brightly colored, and I always like getting more of the three leaf pieces. Just to get 5 of them in orange is nice to get. And I don't think I have a lavender crab, so that's a new piece from my collection. I'm gonna have to remember that when I build, or when we do the vintage Lego stream on Friday night, because Eggplant Head is a really big fan of Aquazone and Time Cruisers, and so I'm guessing he's going to be doing more stuff with his Aquazone stuff, and I recruited him for the Vintage Lego stream because he can tell us all about Aquazone. And if I am ever going to talk about Aquazone with 2 people in the world, one is going to be Jane Briggs, and the other is going to be from Blocks to Mox, aka Richard Cranium. Now let's build the Guardians of the Galaxy poly bag. And I did see that we have a couple new people who came into the chat. So, that's funny. Mr. Blue changed his name back to Mr. Blueberry. That's funny. We have Cheap-Ass Blix from Hauling and Bowling. If you're not subscribed to Hauling and Bowling, go subscribe to Hauling and Bowling. Country Brick Build Craze and Triavora. Hello. Exactly. The crinkle of opening a poly bag. And so, yeah, I tried to be as melodramatic as possible in today's video, because I did not like the London skyline architecture set. I know that Anna Nicole's and the Brick Adjuster and Jane Briggs. I always reference Jane Briggs for whatever reason. Maybe because his builds are good quality and you can subscribe to him and follow him over on Twitch, maybe. Yeah, I know a bunch of people who really like the architecture thing, but architecture is really expensive, which is why whoever gifted this to me found it on sale. I think they found it for 50% off. and so they could not pass up buying this set for me. And I'm glad that they bought the London skyline for me, because I sure as hell wasn't going to buy it, even if it was on sale. I wasn't going to spend my own money to buy it, and I really don't like that set. But I'm glad they gifted it to me nonetheless, because they helped me with my justification of not liking the Lego architecture thing. Hello, a couple of brickheads. Hello. Sean says recently tried Duke's Mayo, a southern favourite. Not bad. I was sent a video of some guy at a baseball game eating a jar of Duke's Mayo. I think it was Aussie Adam Wicks who sent it to me, because it was featured on the news here in Australia about 4 months ago or something. I can't remember exactly. Maybe it was around the time of my 10-year anniversary. But Aussie Adam Wicks saw it on his news, and then I saw it on my news, and I was like, yeah. People do crazy things to pass the time at baseball games. I know 2 months ago there was some guy at either Yankee Stadium or City Field that was eating a jar of mustard. For whatever reason, it's not all that uncommon to see a baseball fans eating straight up condiments, because the game of baseball can get really boring. And so I always find it's funny when baseball fans do that. Anyway, people utilizing the gambling tool. And if anyone is actually lurking, then you can feel free to use the exclamation mark lurk, so that Streamlabs still recognizes that you are watching the stream, and you can accumulate exclamation mark jars. Not sure when the next giveaway is going to be. It's probably going to be just before I move house at the end of the year. Anyway, let's get back to building this, shall we? How much charge do we have? Yeah, we got 13%. I'll have to charge this. And we got Redcoat Kyle. Hello, Redcoat. Hello, Redcoat Kyle. Okey-dokey. Yeah, so this set has a whole lot of owings with it, as per the livery of the actual ship from the movie. And the only reason I traded for this at all is because, not because I like the ships from Guardians of the Galaxy, because if you don't know, Guardians of the Galaxy is my favourite Marvel movie, my favourite franchise within the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Hello, Cooking Cliff. Yeah, Guardians of the Galaxy is my favourite franchise in Marvel movies, because of all the smart humour and all the really good CGI. It's by far the best. It's, per franchise, it's the best collection of CGI I've ever seen. Per movie, Ready Player One has the best CGI I've ever seen in a movie. And speaking of movies, my dad and my brother went to see Indiana Jones last night, the fifth movie, and I deliberately didn't want to go because I'm sorry to all of the Indiana Jones fans out there, but I really like the Indiana Jones sets. I just can't get through a whole movie of Indiana Jones for whatever reason. Indiana Jones movies are action packed, but for whatever reason, I don't know. I just can't get into the Indiana Jones franchise. I've seen big chunks of Raiders of the Lost Ark and Temple of Doom. I've never seen anything of The Last Crusade. I've seen about 10 minutes of Kingdom of the Crystal Skull. The scene where they're talking with Irina Balco in that cavern area. I'm not sure what it's actually. But, oh, long time no see, duplicable cow. Moo. Exactly. Moo. Yeah. So, I'm sorry to all the Indiana Jones diehards out there, but for whatever reason, I can't get into the franchise, even though I think the Indiana Jones Lego sets are freaking cool as hell. I'm really disappointed that they cancelled the new Temple of Doom. I've got so many sets I want to buy. I'm not going to be buying the Indiana Jones sets until they go on sale before they retire. Because I'd rather buy sets for these cities first, and then I'd rather buy those Indiana Jones sets and the new UCS Luke's Land Speeder. Sorry, not Luke's Land Speeder, the X-Wing before it retires, because I'm a city builder through and through, so that's what I've got to prioritize spending my money on. Either City or Friends or Creator 3-in-1 sets that I think I can vintageify, so to speak, or use the money to buy parts to build mocks for the city. Just making sure this is correct. Yes, that's got to go like that. Yeah, so much like with all the bright colours in the Lego Movie 2 Plantamals that we just built, this has a lot more brighter colours than the London skyline architecture. And this is a much more interesting build for me because of the orange through and through. So, as I was trying to say earlier before we went down a whole bunch of rabbit holes, the main reason why I traded for this poly bag at Brickworld Chicago isn't just because Guardians of the Galaxy is my favourite Marvel franchise, but also this has a lot of, not a lot, but a decent amount of wedge plate and angled plate, because we got two of the 3x3 light bluish grey angled plate, and we got a left and right 2x3 wedge plate, and we got 2 left and 2 right of the orange 2x3 wedge plate. And I'm always in need of more light bluish grey angled and wedge plate because of all the classic space mocks I like to build. I'm thinking about doing a space month sometime either within this year or next year, because I've kind of been lacking on building space mocks. I've been focusing on Castle so much ever since I did all of those modifications to my second 90th anniversary Castle. I need to go back and review the schedule I put out on Patreon. But the only people who know my schedule of builds for the rest of the year pledged to me on Patreon. So if anyone wants all that exclusive information, you might want to click the link to pledge to me in the description. So I like that they used this piece in the trans clear at this small scale. It's a nice use of that piece. I don't see that piece all that often anymore. It used to be a lot more common. I think it's because LEGO has come out with new specialized small curved pieces that do a better job at getting those small little details. And I also think it's because they don't do as much micro builds in this scale that are based upon craft that need a window canopy that big anymore. Yeah. So yeah, both of these poly bags are much more interesting than the London skyline. If anyone hasn't watched my video yet about the London skyline, and you haven't heard mayohosko starring Alvin and the Chipmunks, the comedy stylings of mayohosko doing a massive comedy spoof about that set, you should definitely go back and watch that video after this live stream. Okay, so how does this fit on? How does this fit on? So we're going to go underneath here. Because if you go over the top here, then those clips are going to collide with these really cool sand blue left and right wedge pieces right there. They're going to hit it upon impact. Hello, Ninja with the bricks. Shh, blood owl! Okay, what do we need to do now? Now we need to get some more of these. There's a lot of trans purple one by one studs in here. If you're looking for a lot of trans purple studs, this Guardians of the Galaxy polybag might be the set for you. And I also like the way that they use these awkward Technic pieces for some engine detail. This clicks in back here. I don't know. Okay, it has to go to the side like that so that it doesn't click. Go to the other side here to get that nice little bits of engine detail. And we have Karma Black Creations. Hey Karma, send some cool weather my way. Well, unfortunately, I'm not God, so I can't below all of my cold air to the United States. I can't do that right now. And we have Douglas McQuicken. Hello, Douglas. Yeah, lots of people coming through the chat. And just to let everyone know, if you haven't already read my community post, if we can get to 600 subscribers by the 72-hour live stream, I will be building the Galaxy Explorer on the 72-hour live stream. So if you want to see me build this on the 72-hour live stream, definitely make sure to share my channel with your friends who like Lego. and get them to subscribe to mayohosko. I'm going to finish building this set, and then we're going to try scope out all of the interesting comments. Because unlike other channels out there, I recognize the importance of my viewers, and I was waiting to do this. I was waiting to do this, but the London architecture set was so boring that I literally turned people away with how boring it was. And so I was going to do something, but we didn't get to do it because there wasn't enough of a viewership to warrant me expending the energy to do what I was going to do. That's how lackluster the London architecture skyline was. We'll quickly build this set if there's less than 10 pieces to go, and then we'll read some of the comments. So not only does this double as engine detail, but it also acts as connection points for these winglets to come out from the ship. So that's it's not necessarily NPU, but maybe it's SPU. There's a new acronym for you: Smart Part Usage. Well, I beg to disagree, because all you have to do is go back and watch my video I uploaded today, and you'll see how boring I thought the London architecture set was. So these are a bunch of extra pieces. We don't need those. So there it is. If anyone can tell me the name of this craft from Guardians of the Galaxy, please let me know, because I do not know the name of that. We'll open this X-Wing poly bag, dump up the pieces, and then I'll read some of the comments. So, what's going on in the comments? Any interesting comments? Doesn't look like we'll be able to rebuild the London skyline, so we won't be able to play more of the ring toss. But if anyone does want to see me playing ring toss with the London architecture set, feel free to go back and watch my video. Oh, nice! Michael's going to Brick Fair, Virginia, and the Brick Sales. Wow. Yes, the rare lavender crab right there. The rare lavender crab. How my auntie's doing is she got a new laptop. Always gotta stay hydrated and caffeinated. Gotta have coffee. Gotta have coffee. Yeah, there's no doubt that The Shining is a masterpiece, but I think it's overrated nonetheless. Something can be good and still overrated at the same time. Yeah, I don't ever need to go to an American sports game, because I can just watch it on my TV. I much prefer to watch sports on TV. I think they're all good to above average polybags, in my opinion. And unfortunately, the viewership has dipped again. So it doesn't look like we'll be able to do what I said. But I was going to do. Well, we'll wait until we have a double digit on one of my live streams before I impress everyone with my angelic voice. So if anyone wants to hear my angelic voice, pay attention to my live streams in the future and share my live streams with your friends. if you want to hear my angelic voice. Tundra says, I built the latest Ninjago Kai polybag yesterday, went to Legoland, and got the Lotus Flower set. Oh, nice. I can't remember what the latest Kai is, because there's been so many polybags that are nothing but Kai, and like a tiny little accessory. Yes, I did hear that, because I was talking with Mark at Brick World Chicago, and he did mention something about Brick Slopes, and it's actually pretty easy for him to get to. It's actually easier for him to get to Brick Slopes than to Brick World Chicago, because it's a shorter plane flight, and Utah, or Salt Lake City, Utah, and Calgary, Alberta are within the same time zone. Triavore says, my favorite MCU movie is The Incredible Hulk, and favorite Marvel movie in general is Spider-Man 2. I know a lot of people that like, actually, isn't Spider-Man 2 a Sony movie? I think it's a Sony movie because it's Tobey Maguire. They have a weird relationship, Sony and Marvel, with the Spider-Man franchise. Country says, I scored a next to night polybag a few months back. It was actually with a Simpsons CMF. Oh, nice. I need to get more of the Simpsons characters from Wicklink. They're surprisingly cheap. And the next to night polybag. A $25 polybag? What? How does a polybag get that expensive? Especially if it's not from a licensed thing. Hunter also says, I got a Microfighters set Series 2. I kept sealed some cool micro builds nowadays. Yeah, these polybags do have good little micro builds. What else? Yeah, just as long as everyone makes sure to leave a like, that's all that matters, whether you're here for 1 minute or 1 hour. Yeah, there's a bunch of ninjas lurking around in the shadows right now. Thomas says, I sold all of my Dragon Knights the other day. Nice. How much did you sell them for? Hopefully you'll be able to use the money to go buy more vintage Lego casting. Google says, architecture is only good when they utilize unique techniques to achieve the shape. Exactly. When they're just using studs on the side or straight up and down with building, it gets kind of boring. That's what they used to do in a lot of the original architecture sets. I think architecture started in 2007. Correct me if I'm wrong about that. I'm pretty sure it started in 2007. The dragon. Well, there were a bunch of knights that had dragon emblems on them. There were the Black Knights sold from 1988 to 1994. There were the Dragon Masters sold from 1993 to 1994. There were the Green Dragon Knights that were sold in the Kingdom theme from 2010 to 2012, and then there were the Red Dragon Knights that were sold from 2013 to 2014, which is the era of castle that I grew up with, 2013 to 2014. Do you even Lego, bro? Yeah, this is the X-Wing, and I'll try to build it really, really fast. Exactly, it's the start of July, and Brick Slopes is in August. Well, maybe we'll have to do an episode of Will Hoeg in the future, where people try to convince me that every Lego set is not boring. Maybe I'll have to do a community post about that in the future. Yeah, well, that's why I prefer to take selfies outside of stadiums instead of going inside of the stadiums, because I don't want to. I'd rather use my money to buy Lego sets instead of going to sports games. Yeah, that's really that and Bricks Cascade are really the only two feasible options people in California have now, which is sad. I know a lot of people that give away poly bags on whatnot. We'll probably be ending soon anyway, Contra, because we'll be going over to raid clicking fish. Yeah, Zissou would never lurk because Zissou always stays alert, because otherwise he might miss out on this.
Paradisa, Paradisa, sun is shining all day.
Anyway, let's quickly put this together. Shouldn't take that much pieces. Gonna try to do speed build action. So I don't like. I'm just gonna trigger all of the Star Wars people right now. I do not like the Star Wars franchise, but I have a great deal of respect for what Star Wars has done to Hollywood. I have a great deal of respect for the way that Star Wars has impacted millions and millions and millions of people around the world. And ultimately, I have a great deal of respect for a select number of Lego Star Wars sets. I really like the original UCS X-Wing. I really like the Master Builder Ewok Village. I really like the UCS Slave 1, probably just because Boba Fett is my favorite character. And I like everyone who makes scenes of Tatooine centered around Mos Eisley's cantina. I was thinking about buying Mos Eisley's cantina a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Hey, you see what I did there? But ultimately, I didn't, because there were other cool sets that came out at that time that I bought instead. I think I bought. Well, it came down to, was I going to buy that or was I going to buy the train? And ultimately, I bought the train because I collect all of the freight trains, and so I didn't buy it. And it's water off a duck's back, because as much as I like scenes from Tatooine, there was nowhere I was going to put, or I had no room for that set in my collection. Although one day, if I do have unlimited space, I would love to build a Tatooine diorama and try to build Atashi's station in that as well. Because A New Hope is the only Star Wars movie that I've seen in full. See, I gotta do something. And my Mac is on low charge. So soon we'll be raiding over to Clicken and Bricken. We'll be doing that soon. We'll just finish building this, and then we'll go and do that. Hopefully we'll be done within the next 10 minutes. So if anyone hasn't done so already, make sure to hit that like button, because that lets YouTube know that you like watching the mayohosko channel and that you want to see more of my content. Because who doesn't love a good old vintage Lego person who has a whole bunch of random facts straight out of the textbook because I literally get all of my information from the old DK books, like the 2009 history book and the 2009 minifigure history book. And then that eventually led me to reading a bunch of articles on Wikipedia, which became Wikimedia. And I enjoy reading about all of that stuff. I really do. And then that led me to watching YouTubers who are also Lego historians. So you pick up on new information that you don't see in the books, and then you just grow your knowledge, and then that just grows. It just keeps on growing and growing and growing and growing. And if anyone's ever seen advertisements for the Energizer Bunny, actually no, I think that ad was in the 80s, so that before the Energizer Bunny started starring in their commercials. Because I think that was at the time when the battery industry was transferring away from carbon to alkaline. And so people like Energizer advertised their new alkaline batteries in the 80s. And they talked about how alkaline batteries are so much better than carbon batteries, because they are. Yeah. And so we almost hit double-digit amount of viewers watching. We just spiked up to 8, but now that's back down again. So yeah, we'll definitely hopefully when I do my vintage live stream with from blocks to mock, our Toy World Top 2021, and the name escaped. And a chip off the old block was because he's going to talk about Powered Easter. Hopefully, we'll get to double digits then, and then I'll be able to enlighten everyone with my angelic voice. So we'll quickly finish building this, and then we'll go over to cooking and bricking. And I've got some stuff to send out in the post office today. Wasn't expecting this to take me this long. How does it go on? Oh, yeah, that goes on like that. Where are we? Where are we? I like that they use the ski pole for the laser cannons on here. Oh, now we have 0 people watching. They must have gone over to cooking and bricking. Oh, this is attached. Oh, this is an upside down technique, that's why. Come on, clip in there. It's an upside down technique. And it goes like that. We'll go to clamp these together. Now we've got to quickly build the wing. Nice to get a lot or a 4 of the dark red wheels. That's nice to get. Don't have too many of those dark red wheels, so that'll be nice to add to the collection. So we've got to build 4 of these. We've got to build 4 of these things. To get the X formation. I traded for this at Brickworld Chicago. I traded for all of the poly bags I have built today at Brickworld Chicago. I traded for all of them. Now I can put these wings on here. Because I did not have any any money at the garage sale. And Just Be Good was actually very kind. He gave me $10 to go buy the Aero Hawk from 1993. That was very kind of him. You should definitely go subscribe to the Just Too Good channel. He has a lot of vintage Lego reviews which I like, including a review of the McDonald's restaurant from 1999 that has quote a sexy box design. And when I mentioned that to Just Too Good, when I remember that he said that, I think that was the giveaway that I know my stuff. Because only a true viewer would remember all the obscure references like that. Oh, looks like we're going to go overtime. I'm going to finish this goddamn set. So immediately after we finish building this, we are going to cut to the end, and I'm going to move on with my day, because I've got stuff to do. I've got to go to the post office. And I think that's the finished product like that. Yep, there's the X one. There's the X one. So very quickly, who did we have in the chat today? We had Mr. Blueberry, YOLO X, Michael Fujiwara, Cease Sultan Force, Country Bricks Build Craze, Cheap Ass Bricks, Trevor, Redcoat Kyle, a couple of Brickheads, Clicking Cliff, the Brickable Cow, Ninja with the Bricks, Karma Brick Creations, Douglas McBricken, oh, there's Amanda. Hello, good morning, Amanda. Just about to end this thing now, and yeah, that was everyone. So thank you for watching. I'll go get the link for the Clicking and Bricking live stream. Go and watch it. Yeah, copy. And I'll post it up. Go watch Clicking and Bricking, everybody. Go back and watch my video I uploaded today. See you on the next live stream. See you in the next short. And I'll see you in the next video.
Thank you for supporting mayohosko Media. Your viewership is very important to us. Tell YouTube you like us by smashing the like button. Let your thoughts be known in the comments down below. Never miss out on any more LEGO content from us by hitting the subscribe button and ringing the notification bell. Stay tuned for live streams every Friday night at 9 PM Eastern in North America and monthly city updates on the last Wednesday or Thursday of every month. If you like Minecraft and gaming streams, follow us on Twitch, mayo_hosko, no capital letters. Twitch streams every Saturday morning at 8 AM Eastern in North America. To be in the know, follow us on Instagram and Twitter at real_mayohosko. Have fun with us on our Discord server. Friend us on Facebook and join the fan club group. For business inquiries, email us at mayohosko@gmail.com. For historical inquiries, check out our website. For special community perks, including behind the scenes, voting rights, and early access videos, become an investor today by pledging to us on Patreon. Links in the description. Watch this video recommended to you, or check out this playlist if you missed any previous videos of the same genre. This has been mayohosko, and I am a fan of old LEGO. #AFOOO.